You've probably heard the saying, right? There's no such thing as a free lunch. But think about it. Every single day, we use incredibly powerful, sophisticated software, and we don't pay a penny. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the amazing economics of free and see how it fuels this massive trillion-dollar global industry. Okay, let's get into it.
I mean, it's a question that has to have crossed your mind. You open your phone, your laptop, and boom, there they are. Apps that organize your entire life, let you talk to anyone on the planet, and store all your most important stuff. And the price? Zero. So, what gives? How is that even possible? How does all of this work?
Just think for a second about the tools you actually rely on. That email account with basically endless storage, the calendar that magically syncs everywhere, the app you use to chat with your family and friends. You know, these aren't just little toys. They're complex pieces of what we call software as a service, or SaaS, stuff that would have cost you a fortune not that long ago. And now, it's just there. But the cost didn't just vanish, it's just been moved. It's hidden.
So where is the cost hidden? Well, the first and most common answer is a strategy that's pretty much become the foundation of the digital world. It's called the freemium model.
The idea itself is kind of brilliant, right? The word is just a mashup of free and premium. A company gives you a totally useful, working version of their product for absolutely free. They want you to use it, to really like it, to weave it into your daily routine. Because they're betting that sooner or later, you're going to want more than what the basic version gives you.
You see, it really works like a giant funnel. At the very top, the whitest part, you just pour in millions and millions of users with that irresistible free offer. And as they use the product, they start bumping up against the edges. They see these cool, advanced features locked away behind a little upgrade or premium button. The goal isn't to get everyone to pay, not at all. It's to convince just a tiny fraction of them that paying for the upgrade is totally worth it.
And when you look at the numbers, it seems kind of crazy. How on earth can a company stay in business if 95% of its users don't pay a dime? Well, it's all about scale. With a huge user base, that little 5% is where the magic really happens. If you have, say, 100 million users, that tiny little slice of paying customers can add up to billions in revenue. The free users aren't a cost. They're the foundation that the whole skyscraper is built on.
But that brings us to the really big question. Sure, freemium is a powerful, very real business model. But is it the whole picture? Can that small slice of paying customers, on its own, really be enough to power a global industry worth trillions? Well, the short answer is no. There's something else going on. Another, much bigger economic engine running silently in the background.
And that silent engine? It's the data economy. It's built on a pretty simple but really profound idea. If you're not paying for it, you're not the customer. You're the product being sold.
So the transaction here, it isn't a gift, it's a trade. It's a two-way street. You get these amazing, convenient tools without opening your wallet. And in return, the company gets something incredibly valuable from you, data. Now, this isn't necessarily your name or your deepest secrets. We're talking about anonymized information, stuff like how you use the product, which features you click on, and what times of day you're most active.
This has become one of the most famous sayings of the digital age, and for a really good reason. It just perfectly nails this fundamental shift. The main thing being created and sold isn't just the software anymore. It's the giant pool of user attention and all the insights you can pull from user behavior.
So what do they even do with this data?
Well, it's way more than just showing you targeted ads, even though that's part of it. These insights are used to make the product itself better, more addictive, more sticky. This data is the food that trains powerful AI models. It helps companies decide what to build next and where to put their money. And this is a big one. When all this data is bundled together and made anonymous, it creates these super valuable reports on market trends that can be sold to other companies.
Okay, so you take these two incredibly powerful engines. You've got the small group of paying users from the freemium model, and you combine that with the immense value of data from everybody else. Just how big does this get? Honestly, the scale is just mind-boggling.
That's $1 trillion with a T. That's a 1 with 12 zeros after it. That valuation puts the whole software as a service industry right up there with some of the biggest economic sectors on the entire planet. This is not some niche market, it's a core pillar of the modern global economy. And it's all built on the back of software that to most of us looks like it's totally free.
And it's not like it's slowing down. The growth in this market has been absolutely explosive, and it's projected to just keep climbing higher and higher. As more and more of our work and our lives move online, into the cloud, those two economic models we've talked about, they just get more powerful and way more profitable.
All right, so let's bring this all home. We've looked under the hood at the mechanics of freemium, and we've uncovered this hidden world of data value. So what's the big takeaway here? How should we really think about the price of free?
This is maybe the most important thing to really let sink in. Free isn't a price tag, it's a method of transaction. You are absolutely paying. You're just not paying with dollars. You're paying with your attention, with your usage, with your behavior, and with the data that all those actions create. It really forces you to reframe your whole relationship with the digital tools you use every single day.
And that leaves us with the final and most important question. And it's one that doesn't have a simple answer. On one hand, you get these incredibly powerful tools and all this convenience. On the other, you're providing the fuel for this trillion-dollar industry. Is it a fair trade? Well, that's a personal call. But knowing what the full bargain really is, that's the first and most essential step to making a choice you're comfortable with. Thanks for joining this explainer.